Hey everybody. So we're in a global pandemic, and so most of us are in some form of self-isolation at home. But some theater companies are planning ahead and they're starting to audition people at home via self-tape or live Zoom auditions or Skype auditions. As theater actors, we may not necessarily have all the equipment and not know how to do a self-tape properly. So in this video, I'm going to give you some pointers on how you can do a self-tape from home using just what you have around the house and make it look as good as possible. After the bump. Hello everybody, I am Doug Fahl. This is Augmented Actor, where we help you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. So today I'm going to give you some pointers on how to do a simple self-tape audition at home for a theater production. If you're a film actor or commercial actor or something, you're probably already used to doing self-tapes at home and you may have some equipment set up. That's great, you're already set. If you're a theater actor, you probably haven't had to do this too many times, and so you might have some questions, and I want to try to answer some of those and help you out. First things first, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment. Most of us have a great camera and recording device on our cell phones, and that is perfectly fine, especially under the conditions that we are all in right now. Casting is going to be a lot more lenient about some of these rules, so if you can't do something that I'm telling you here, do your best to get the idea there and just really focus on your performance, because that's ultimately what they're looking at. Let's talk about framing of your shot. So for most auditions, you want to have a pretty medium shot, so about the nipples, chest up to about 2 inches above your head. You might want to go a little bit lower too, especially if you're singing and you are using your hands a lot to gesture. You want to make sure that we can see your hands in the shot. But otherwise, if you're just reading, something about this framing is good. You don't want to have your head cut off. You don't want to be off to the side. You don't want to be too close up, because that's really distracting. And you also want to read to your reader off camera, or even just look at yourself in the viewfinder of your camera, and then it won't be looking directly at the camera. Now when you shoot your video, you want to hold your phone in landscape position instead of vertical position. We want to see as much of the screen filled up. We don't want the big black bars on the side when we're looking at something. The more real estate your body can take up on the screen, the better. I also recommend putting your phone on a tripod. There are little inexpensive clips that can hold your phone. You can use your dash cam. If you have a dash cam, just take it out of your car and put it on a tripod. You can use a little mini tripod like this, set it on a desk, or you can use one of the tripod stands like this. If you don't have that equipment, it's fine. Prop your phone up on a stack of books, or use a music stand, anything you can do to keep your phone stationary. You want your phone to not be distracting by moving around. You don't want to have somebody holding the phone either. If that's all you got and you can't set it up with your current lighting, go ahead and just hold it as still as possible. Now, a background is very important. You want a very plain, nondescript background. You don't want to show pictures and artwork. You don't want your cat walking by. You don't want to just show plants in the living room. Anything that distracts from your face and your performance is something that should be eliminated. So if you don't have a plain white wall or gray wall in your house that you can shoot against, then I suggest hanging a sheet or a piece of fabric and making sure it's big enough that you can get it all within the frame. Also try to iron out wrinkles. I have some wrinkles in my cloth back here. That can be a little distracting, but again, under the circumstances, it's okay. Lighting is very important. We definitely want to see your eyes. If you wear glasses, take them off if you can. If you need to read, like me, then you can have your glasses on too. Just make sure there's no glare on your glasses. I have a softbox lighting kit. It's 3 softboxes. I also have a ring light, which is set up behind me to light my backdrop. Now that's because I do YouTube videos, and so I need proper lighting. But if you don't have lights at home, You can put a lamp in front of you. You can open up a window, a nice big window with natural sunlight. Natural light is very good. What you want to avoid is you want to avoid dark shadows on your face by having your source of light coming from the side. It's very cinematic in nature. It looks pretty on film, but we want to be able to see your expressions and your eyes and not have it obscured by darkness. You want to avoid being too washed out. So if you don't know how to set the brightness settings on your phone, it's usually, like I know on an iPhone, you can just tap and hold on the screen and then drag your finger up or down to adjust the lighting. And you want to get something that's a very even tone, nothing too blown out, not harsh shadows on your face. And it helps if you're able to light your background or have a well-lit background, because then it kind of pops you away from it without casting shadows on the wall, which can also be distracting. Now, sound. Most phones are pretty good at picking up sound at this close range. Now, if you're doing a longer shot, maybe you're doing some dance moves or you're trying to sing or something like that, and you need a little bit more space to show your body, your phone should still pick it up, but it's going to sound a little more tinny. If you happen to have a body mic or a Zoom microphone or something else like that you can power in or plug in, that's great. It's great. It's a good thing to invest for in the future. Same thing with the lights. But if you don't have it, just use your phone's device and just try to be as close to your phone as possible. I also recommend you don't shoot outside. Even though the lighting is better, the sound will suffer from the exterior noises. Unless you have a body mic or something like that, it's still going to sound a little bit different. You want a controlled space. Let's talk about the slate. When you slate, you want to get a little bit wider shot. A lot of times they'll want to see your full body, so they may ask you to tilt the camera down and up, which requires a second person to help you out. If you don't have a second person in your household, then you should just pull your camera back as far as possible so that we can see you from your head all the way down to about your shins. A slate doesn't necessarily need a clean background. It's just a way that we can see your body. In your slate, smile, state your name, state the role you're auditioning for. You might be asked to state your height or something like that as well. And then you might be asked to give a profile so that they can see what you look like from the side. So feel free to throw that in. You can record your slate separately from your audition. Don't panic by having to try to do one clean take. Do your slate and then add it on to your audition later on. Now, if you have scene work and you need a reader to read opposite you, if there's somebody living with you, that's the easiest solution. Just put them off camera so that they're just slightly behind the camera and have them read very softly. Loud enough that they can be heard on the camera, but not so loud that their sound is louder than your sound. It's you that's auditioning, not the reader. If you don't have a reader at home, you can call up a friend and have them read via Zoom or Skype or even just on speakerphone. You'll need two devices to shoot an audition this way. One to get the sound from your friend. It's usually a phone or an iPad or a laptop, and then a separate device to shoot the actual audition. There is an app you can use. It's a free app. It's called the Actor Trade app, and it allows you to connect with other actors around the world, and they can read opposite with you. And it has all the video and audio built into it, and you can even upload scripts to send to the people so that they can help you out with your audition. And it also has a companion Facebook group called Rehearsal and Self-Tape Partners for Actors. So look that up. It's on your screen. And this group is where you can coordinate reading times with other actors. So if you're having trouble asking somebody or you don't have a friend that can help you out, that's a great resource. Now, if you're singing a song for a musical theater audition, you should be given some sort of rehearsal track from the audition or from the theater that sends you the audition. Now, that's not always the case. And if they tell you you need to learn the song, they send you the sheet music. Well, it's great if you have somebody who can play it. It's great if you can play it yourself. But most of us don't have a pianist, accompanist living with us that we can do this. So you could do a couple things to help with this. You could send the music off to a friend who plays the piano and have them record an MP3 track, send that back to you. You can look up a karaoke track version on YouTube and use that as your source. And like I said, sometimes the theater will hopefully send you a rehearsal track that you can use. Now again, you need to play that off of your laptop or another device, not off of the device you're shooting with. So it's very helpful to have two different devices. Now remember, in-person auditions, you get one shot to do your song and nail it out of the park. When you're shooting at home, it's an awkward, strange situation. You're doing a lot of time to set it all up and you kind of just want to get it done. But remember, you can do this as many times as you need to get it right. So just keep the camera rolling, take the take again, and get several options and then choose the best one. There are several different ways that you can edit together. If you have a computer, I recommend DaVinci Resolve. It's a free program. You need a fairly fast editing computer to do that, and that's professional software. But if you have a Mac, you can use iMovie. There's Windows Movie Maker if you're on a PC. That's basically all you need for an audition. You're just going to be cutting the slate and cutting your best take out and tagging it onto the end and then exporting it. If you only have your device, your phone, then there are a number of video editing apps that you can download. There's iMovie for the iPhone, which comes on the phone. There's InShot. I'll put a whole list of apps that I've used that you can edit your video on down in the description below. Then you want to export your video and you want to follow whatever instructions are given to you for labeling your video. You usually need to label your name and the role and the theater and whatnot. And so make sure you look for those instructions in your audition notice. And also they will usually tell you how they want to receive your audition. Sometimes they'll have you upload to YouTube. So if you have never used YouTube, get a YouTube account. It's linked to Google and Gmail. So just sign up for a free YouTube account and then load your video up and have it posted as an unlisted video. This means that people can view it if they have the link, but it's not going to show up in YouTube search. It's not going to violate any kind of copyright on the material either. Load that up and then share the link to that video to the auditors. They also might have you transfer the file to them directly via WeTransfer or Dropbox. Just follow the instructions in the audition materials. And above all, just give your best performance. If you can't get the best lighting or the best backdrop or your sound's a little off, it doesn't matter too much. They're looking at you and your performance. So take your time, relax and breathe and just give your best performance because you are still auditioning, right? It's just like you're in person. You won't have the distraction of the auditors watching you, but you will have the distraction of other people in your house and lighting and space issues and all kinds of stuff like that. Do the best you can. I'm in a really small room here. It's cramped and I can't even stand up. So if I'm doing a singing audition, I'm just gonna have to get back as far as I can and just do my best to sing. Other people will have bigger spaces. And if you're doing a live audition via Zoom, you can follow all of the same guidelines. Just basically set up a nice backdrop, give yourself some lighting, practice your scene by yourself by recording it multiple times before you actually get to the live audition, and then you'll know where to look and where not to look and all that kind of thing. I hope you found this video helpful. Hopefully your self-tape auditions will be a little bit better because of this. And remember, links are down in the description to all the equipment that I have in case you want to order your own. And if you want your Augmented Actor t-shirt, you can get that on the link that's on your screen right now. And there's some other videos that might help you out as well. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope to see you next time.